Well, good afternoon. I'm Dan Clevenger, Chairman of Pure Pro Products, and we're here at our production facilities today, and we're announcing a partnership that Pure Pro has gone into with the AmVets, one of the premier organizations of American veterans and one of the proudest traditions that this country has to uphold. To my right is the commander for the state of Ohio AmVets, Jim Graham. Jim's a farmer from down at Athens, and has been so gracious to have included us in his midwinter meeting last weekend, where we introduced our campaign. And also with me is Dewey Stokes. For many years was the head of the National Fraternal Order of Police. He's a Pure Pro member. And our campaign today is inaugurating Pro Back. It's a back brace that is made totally in America, that Pure Pro distributes, and we're marketing with the AmVets. The device is very light, it's mechanically engineered, and it provides protection, it provides support, it also can aid in the recovery from back injuries, and we think it's a fine product for just about anybody, whether you have a bad back or not. Jim, thanks a lot for inviting us to become a partner with you, and we're proud to be so.
Thank you. So it's great to be here.
What was your first impression when you put on the Pro Back?
Well, my first impression, I just done it because I thought, well, I ought to just try it out, you know, and I felt it was like a lot of other products that I've seen in the past, you know. I didn't really expect much, but I put it on. And I told my wife, I said, I'm just going to wear this thing today. We had, working down at the farm, I had some poles being delivered for building structure, and then we're going to use them for fencing, and I'm going to be lifting and tugging around on stuff. I'll just put this on. Well, the longer I had it on, better it felt. And I thought, boy, there's something maybe to this. So when I got home that night, I said, you know, that's I said, I don't know what it does, but you know, I don't feel like that I'm not a young man anymore. And I said, I don't feel like I normally do after I've been out, you know, lifting around and working. So of course, she had a different explanation of it. You know, it's kind of held this end, but it kind of relieves your back, supports your back. It takes some of the weight of your torso off of it. And in some way, I'll tell you, it's a product that I didn't realize was available.
Well, you know, one of the things, Dewey, you know, since you found a Pro Back, you know, naturally by virtue of your past, you thought of this application to the police.
Well, yeah, Dan, and being involved with this for some time, I understand where you're coming from on a commander, because I realize that it relieves the stress off your back, the way it's made, and the point of coming into your back, or your lower back, and giving you support. If you don't have a back injury, I think it prevents you from getting, but at the same time, I think it helps you, your mobility, and then allows you to strengthen that part of your lower back that you might strain or hurt down the road. And I've seen that with a lot of people. And when we went down and met with Ron Rosser, our Congressional Medal of Honor winner down in Rossville, but
yes.
And Ron had not tried it yet. And when he went down and wore it for a couple of days, he sent us back and said, yeah, you know, I'd be happy to come aboard and endorse that, because he's got some injuries and gets around, and him and his wife both, Sandy. And so I know that it'll help you if you have back injury, but I think also it's a prevention. And I think that that's what we're trying to get into, the side of prevention, as well as helping people that do have injury. And consequently, when we got involved with the military and looked at what the military was doing, I seen some of the guys that are coming back from Afghanistan and Iraq that carry them 90 and 110 pound packs out for all day long on some days, and on those missions that they go on. I felt like, you know, this could really help some of the veterans. I got a brother that's a veteran, and some of the other veterans that I've been associating with over the last 20, 30 years. But I think it's good in that area. And then when you get into, like, for police officers and firefighters, the support they need when firefighters dragging one of those hoses. A lot of times people don't realize how big a 3, 4, and 5-inch hose can be, emptying water out of it or pouring water through it. And the lifting that they do, and the police officers, some of the lifting of things that they do on reconnaissances and that they have to do. And then I go back to our discussions with Paul Horning, and Paul said, you know, he doesn't have any back injuries, thank God, the things Paul went through playing pro ball and that, but he wears his constantly. He said, you know, driving, it gives him a lot of relief when you're driving. And so consequently, when I'm going on a little trip, I kind of slip mine on and wear it on my back, because it does give you that support. You don't feel as stiff coming out.
Yeah,
So
you know,
I think that's
Ron,
pretty good.
when Dewey and I went down to see Ron Rosser, you know, he's 83 years old. He got his medal from Korea, as you know. And Ron walks with a cane. And his home was like a shrine, like a museum. and Dewey and I went in, and we spent a couple hours with he and Sandy. And he put the brace on, and he walks with a cane. But he stood up to come over and get the pictures that we needed for our website. And he walked over to the wall without the cane, and just having the brace on. One of the things I want to bring to your attention here today, and to everybody that's watching this, Ron had never had a back injury. He'd never been shot, but he'd had a lot of wounds from shrapnel, etc., in his shoulders and his legs. And even though he didn't have a bad back, just like Paul doesn't, it stabilized his core. And I want people to understand that this is for more than people that have back injuries. To touch again on the point that Dewey made, we have a couple of SEALs that are very close to us. They can't officially become affiliated for obvious reasons. The SEALs are pretty low-keyed about that. But one of them told us that in the Middle Eastern theater of war, with this terrain and with the ATVs being all beat up and the backpacks and being so heavy, 80 to 100-pound backpacks, he said everybody's got a bad back. And he said this should always become standard equipment. And of course, we're going to pursue our GSA, our Government Services Agreement, so that we can, you know, provide the pro back on a grand scale to the military. But among the AmVets, there's more than just old soldiers there. As Dewey was alluding to, a lot of the AmVets are policemen, a lot of them are firemen, a lot of them are like yourselves, are farmers, and a lot of them just simply, I mean, if you have a bad back, there's 4 ways you get a bad back. There's genetics, and if you have bad genetics, you're not an AmVet. There's lack of use or atrophy. If you have lack of use or atrophy, you're not an AmVet. The other 2 ways that we can affect are injuries and simply overuse and aging. So this is for a lot more than just the people with the bad back. This stabilizes your core, allows you to do a lot. For example, Sal Bando, he played infield for many years with Oakland. He's always in that position. He wears it now when he golfs. He says it's improved his golf game. Tom Van Arsdale, the same thing. When he was a basketball player, you know, all his cuts and stops and starts. Oscar Robertson, the same thing. He had sciatica as a player. And of course, Bobby Knight is an advocate as well, and we have a lot of good support among trainers and coaches. I want to run down the list of some of the people that are AmVets that could be very much, their livelihood and standard of living could be significantly enhanced by trying it out. Sports officials, referees, umpires. Big use for that. Dick Honig, the former dean of Big Ten officials, and now is a very high official in the NCAA collegiate football officiating world. He has a company. He's a member of Pure Pro as well. We were very well received at some of his conventions. You look down the line too, naturally, the outdoorsmen, construction workers, athletes, active athletes, as our endorsements bear out, bartenders, Took care of my bartender the other day. I catch up on world news down there and get most of my opinions from him. And he's wearing it. Food workers, cab drivers. There's a contract being negotiated now with the New York City cab drivers. Truckers, same thing with them. Painters, commercial fishermen, and of course weightlifters, laborers of any kind.
Sure.
They're all AmVets, and they all have utility for it. And naturally, they all going to benefit not only from the product, but from our agreement.
That's great.
I think the product, when you look at the product though, and you go out, I think the thing that people got to look at is, one, it's considerably affordable in comparison to other things that I've seen on the market. And even at the competitive price that we have of just $89.95 per Pro back, insurance companies in some cases pick up the cost of that or pick up part of the cost. But the other side of that is it's lightweight, it's adjustable to the individual, and he or she can adjust it to fit their back. It's simply light, flexible, and easy to take with you. If you don't wear it and you're going on a trip and you're using it for weightlifting, let's say, it's easy to pack away. It's light. It doesn't going to add to your airline luggage. Or if you're just putting it in the car and going down the road, you can throw it in there. Like going down to your farm and help you.
Well, mine's laying in the car seat out there.
Yeah.
It's handy. But I was amazed too that such a product at a reasonable price in this day and age. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
It is reasonably priced.
Yes, it is, and I think that the more people use it, they'll never know for sure. It's like some things in life. If you buy insurance, you don't know what accident or what damage you prevented to your back by simply putting it on when you're going out and setting up fence posts, or you're going out and digging a trench or digging a footer, or hanging rafters and repairs, or as a mechanic. A lot of the guys are auto mechanics, and lifting and the manner in which you lift and the reach that you have to make, sometimes the strain on your back. So I think that's where it's commendable, and I don't hesitate for a second in recommending it to our people and saying, you ought to wear this.
Yeah,
sure.
And George Ondick, I guess, is going to pursue the Veterans Administration to see about the insurance angle on that end. But in most cases, it's covered by insurance to a certain degree. And so that makes it a perfect offering. And so we're excited about the partnership. We're excited because we're meeting a lot of nice people we haven't been in touch with for a long time. And boy, they've been very enthusiastic about this.
I noticed that your display was well attended over there at the convention.
Yeah, well, we're trying our best, and we're very proud of the affiliation.
Yeah, and I think it was our way of making a contribution and filling the gap, so to speak, with some of our veterans as we met them, going around talking to them.
That's appreciated.
Yeah,
thank you for saying that.
I know my position. I mean, I have multiple replacements, and my extremities are pretty much blown apart. And I have situations where I very much need to maintain my core strength. So when I work out, this is my companion.
It's not a product just for older veterans. Young. I know. I'm just sitting here thinking as you're talking. And when I was young, I used to race motorcycles, and always wore a support. And if you get thinking about race car drivers and stuff, there's this is a product that you can wear. I wore it all day, and was amazed. It didn't bother me, getting in and out of the car or truck or whatever it's in. Yeah. I didn't have to take it off. I had it on till I got home that night, and that's my. That's kind of my testimony. I can say I was amazed at it. I was.
Well, I think what we got to do is encourage each of you that are viewing this on our website to take a close look at some of these endorsements. These guys weren't paid for it; they did it because they believe in it. We're going to be introduced a whole line of products, and they're all going to have the same degree of benefits in their particular fields. So thank you very much for tuning in. and we certainly like your support, and we're providing ours.